Just witnessed two candidates for the state Supreme Court who answered every question, did so with some charm and some openness. Please give them one more big round of applause. And I hope, and I have my respect for Judge Rogensack, I hope that SPARC will organize a second forum after the primary involving one of these two gentlemen and Judge Rogensack. And would you have me, I'd be glad to come back and moderate that forum. And I also want to welcome Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney, who's joined us this evening. Dave Mahoney is not a constitutional lawyer, but he understands the Constitution better than just about anybody. When they tried to tell him 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago, to take a side in the great uprising in Wisconsin, he said he had two responsibilities. Number one, to make sure that everybody was safe, and number two, to make sure that everyone had a right to exercise their constitutional rights and privileges, and he did that job admirably. We are very blessed to have such a sheriff. And what a good transition that is, hey, to the Dane County Circuit Court race. There are some seats up here, folks, and we'd love to have you come and slide in. This is the great triumph of SPARC, that the crowd is bigger than the room. The Dane County Circuit Court is the most important circuit court in the state of Wisconsin. That is not merely a statement I'm making to you, but one that the Constitution of Wisconsin has historically respected. Because this is the capital city, or Madison is the capital city, Dane County, the seat of government, and so this court has been given unique responsibilities that extend beyond the day-to-day responsibilities of circuit courts in the other 71 counties of the state. And this court, Dane County Circuit Court, has had immense influence and immense controversy in the last several years. It is notable that it is the Dane County Circuit Court that has put elements of both Act 10, the governor's labor law, as well as the voter ID law on hold, because judges on this court found elements of those laws to be unconstitutional. And it is also notable that to this day, the state Supreme Court has not taken those cases up, thus recognizing that while it may ultimately overturn what the Dane County Court did, the decisions of these Dane County jurists were legitimate enough and significant enough to go through the appeals process. So this is a very powerful and very important court that has many, many responsibilities. And we have two terrific candidates running this year. And it's just, I'm very happy because it's good to have competitive races for local judgeships. And we have two outstanding candidates who joined us tonight. Rebecca St. John, who is the appointed incumbent judge on this court seat, and her challenger, attorney Rhonda Lanford. Now I'm going to start with Judge St. John and ask you to give us a little bit of why we should adore you. As much as we can convince.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Thank you for organizing this event. Thank you for moderating the event. And thank you for all your interest in this important race. My name is Judge Rebecca St. John. I'm the incumbent in this race. I'm the presiding judge in Branch 16 of the Dane County Circuit Court. The Circuit Court is currently assigned to hearing criminal cases, so I hear everything from drunk driving cases to battery cases to homicides. I also hear some family law cases like child custody and child support cases. I became a circuit court judge because circuit courts deal with the issues on which I've focused my career: domestic violence, child abuse, mental health, drug addiction, and recidivism. I've devoted my legal career to public service. I left a large private law firm to work at a nonprofit, the Children's Law Center. I was in circuit court regularly in the District of Columbia, representing kids in the abuse and neglect system. I moved here in 2004. Peg Wattenschlager hired me at the Department of Justice. I handled over 200 cases on behalf of the state, many involving the victimization of women and children. My approach to being a judge is very simple. It's to give people their day in court and make sure they're heard and they have a voice. My career choices reflect that commitment and that passion to giving people a voice. Now, I obviously bring my experiences and who I am to the bench, so a little bit about me. I love Dane County. I share Dane County values. My husband and I chose to move here because we appreciate everything that Dane County has to offer. The farmers markets, the bike paths, the lakes, the public parks, all the civic mindedness that is here. We have 3 children, ages 7, 6, and 2, and we're very active in the community. We donate to organizations like Music Makers, to St. Vinny's, to a range of organizations. We belong to the Children's Museum and Olbert Gardens. We volunteer actively at our kids' school and the hockey rink, so a range of activities. As a judge, I have one core belief. People need to know that judges are fair and impartial and apply the law without fear or favor, just like Shirley Abramson said we're supposed to do. Judges obviously have to apply the statutes and precedent, but they also have a strong obligation to enforce the Constitution. I've taken an oath, just like all my judicial colleagues, that if laws are unconstitutional, I'll find them as such. And I have an obligation to do that I strongly believe in. I also have a strong appreciation of the important role that judges have in individual people's lives. As a judge, I make really, really important decisions. I decide how to sentence somebody. I decide where children should go live. I even decide issues that may seem unimportant to the public, but in families can cause huge disputes and ruin Thanksgivings, ruin holidays, ruin family relationships. As an advocate, I saw circuit court judges decide questions as fundamental as who a child's parents are. So every time I decide a case, I always have in the forefront of my mind how important the decisions I'm making are. I have the good fortune of earning the support of 34 of my judicial colleagues, including Judge Albert, Judge Blanchard, Judge Lunston, and a host of other judges on the Dane County Circuit Court, and other courts as well. These judges have seen my work. They know that I'm a good judge, and they trust me to make good decisions, to apply the Constitution, and to uphold the oath I swore to take. Because of my strong belief in the independence of the judiciary, I have made a decision that I'm limiting my campaign contributions and I'm not accepting any special interest money. As judges and judicial candidates, we have an obligation to have people understand that justice is not for sale. It cannot be bought and sold. I'm the only candidate in my race who's made that commitment. I'm doing a great job on the bench. I have strong support. I have a strong background in the areas of domestic violence, child abuse, all these areas that are so vitally important in our court system today and that courts are dealing with. I've earned strong support from my judicial colleagues, and I hope to earn yours as well. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the forum. So thank you.
And Rhonda Lanford.
Thank you. Thank you, SPARC, for hosting this forum and giving us the opportunity to speak with you. I apologize in advance for my cold if I sound a little nasal.
I think everybody in the
just getting over it. My campaign is about experience. My legal experience, my teaching experience, and my community leadership experience make me the best candidate for circuit court judge. There are 2 ways to become a judge in Dane County, by appointment or by election. My opponent was appointed, and she's been on the bench for about 20 weeks. I am here to tell you that you have a choice on April 2nd to choose your judge, and I'm going to tell you about me and why I am the best choice. Before I talk to you about my experience, I want to talk to you about who I am. I grew up in northern Wisconsin. I've been a lifelong resident of Wisconsin. My parents had elementary school educations, and I learned early on in my life that people without voice, without sophistication, and without education get left behind. And I decided when I was a little kid watching that I was going to be someone to give people a voice. And the best way that I thought to do that was to be a lawyer. Now that was a pipe dream for me as a little kid because I grew up in poverty, but I used public schools. I went to public schools my whole life. I put myself through college and law school, and I became that voice. I went to law school right here in Dane County at the University of Wisconsin, and I graduated as editor-in-chief of the Law Review, which opened a lot of doors for me. I was drawn to personal injury law which is what I do now, because I got the opportunity to represent real people in real court. I got the opportunity to give people the voice that I wanted to give them, because in my mind, justice is for everyone, not just for people who can afford it. And I decided that was what my career path would be, and that is what I've been doing for 16 years. I want to talk about my experience and why I want to lend my voice now to the Dane County bench and my experience. I've been practicing in Dane County my entire career, almost 17 years. I have been at the law firm of Tavish, Tavish, and Rotier, where I have represented people in court day in and day out in trial court. Now that's important because my opponent has never represented a person in a Wisconsin circuit court. She has never had a case in a Wisconsin circuit court. I have been in the courts representing people, trying cases to a jury. My opponent has never tried a jury trial. I have argued the law. I have made evidentiary objections, and I've explained the law to real people, and that is one of the roles of a judge. I also have teaching experience. I've been an adjunct professor at the University of Wisconsin Law School for 12 years. I have taught trial advocacy, ethics, evidence, civil procedure, negotiations, and I co-founded the mock trial program in 2003, which teaches young lawyers how to be lawyers, how to practice by the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, and the rules of law. Turning to my experience as a community leader, I have lived in, taught in, practiced in, and supported Dane County for 2 decades. I have volunteered for various, for example, I taught high school East High mock trial students for many years in the mock trial program, teaching 9th through 12th graders not only about trial practice, but about how to be confident and how to think about a situation from both sides. I still volunteer in that program, and in fact, I'm judging the competition at regionals this Saturday, and I've been asked by the State Bar of Wisconsin and the law school to write the 2014 National Mock Trial Problem for all of the students in the country. I also have given my time, I volunteered with the AIDS Network on the ACT ride. One year I rolled 1,200 burritos. I had some help. I also have delivered Meals on Wheels. I've donated my resources to the things that I believe in. Fair Wisconsin, AIDS Network, Goodman Center. I have given my time and resources to the people of Dane County my whole career. My judicial philosophy is simple. I believe that the judiciary is a check on the legislative and executive branch, and that the judicial branch derives its power from the Constitution. And that in looking at cases and looking at constitutional cases, you must look at individual rights and constitutional liberties each and every time you look at a law. I ask you to join Madison Teachers, Inc., the South Central Federation of Labor, Fair Wisconsin, U.S. Representative Mark Pocan, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi, and hundreds more in supporting me for my candidacy for Dane County Circuit Court.